All right, what's going on, everybody? As you know, this is Club 50 Sports. We'd like to welcome you all to another edition. I'm here with my man, Manny C, as always, and we've got a special invited guest. Mr. JP is in the building as well. Gentlemen, talk to me. What's going on? How you doing?
What's going on, everybody? Yes, we do have a guest tonight. As we are going to do every so often during the season. JP right here, he's very knowledgeable with soccer when it comes to football. We're going to bring him in during the year, in the fall, especially because he does know about college a lot and about football. Big Giants fan. This is why we are bringing in today. I mean tonight, JP, to discuss what should the Giants do on April 25th on draft night. I want to hear what you have to say, JP, and we'll kick it off. What should the Giants do? I'm going to ask you the question. The Giants have the sixth overall pick. You
Woo!
have two great receivers on the board that will be there, which is the guy from LSU and the guy from Washington, Odunze. Or are you drafting a quarterback? What should the Giants do,
Right.
JP?
Well, first of all, let me just say thanks for having me. It's great to be here. Manny, we've been talking sports for, I don't know, about a decade at this point. I don't know anybody with any crazier takes than you. I thought we are going to come here talking about Russell Wilson's, Hall of Fame first ballot issues, but so I'm a little disoriented. But good thing I grew up on the Giants. Um, So here's the thing, right? So the Giants have a lot of issues. I don't think anybody is going to be very surprised to hear that. And of course, the big question is, do you get rid of the quarterback, right? I have never been a Daniel Jones fan. I remember watching Daniel Jones here in Miami as a Hurricane alum. I go to all the games. I can't go. I watch all the games. So I remember Daniel Jones and Gettleman, the former Giants, Dave Gettleman, goes to the Senior Bowl, watches one game, or not even the game. He watches practice. We're talking about practice.
Practice.
We're talking about practice. And Gettleman sees this guy running around and trades up to take him, and sort of the rest is history. In the last few years, we've learned one thing about him, and is that the boy can't pass. He's a passer who can't pass. He's not accurate, can't read defenses. The only year that he even put up average numbers was the one year when they had a brand new head coach, brand new offensive coordinator, brand new quarterbacks coach, and they did run pass option on every single play, and defenses didn't realize he's going to run every time. He's not going to pass. He's going to run every time. They come back this past year, the second year in the system, and defensive coordinators, what do? They watch tape. So they watched the tape and they said, this guy doesn't pass. He's gonna fake the run, and then he's gonna run. Either he's gonna come around the end, or you know what, he's just not gonna see anything, and then he's just gonna run. So we're just gonna play the run.
Make them beat us through the air.
Make them beat us through the air. And what did they do? They went 5-10, 6, or I think they won a couple at the end with
6-11.
the New Jersey kid. Yeah, 6-11 with the New Jersey kid. That actually is a pretty fun story, right? But Daniel Jones is not the answer. He's never been the answer. I don't want to watch him play football. I don't want to watch him play football for my team. Like, look, you may be the nicest guy in the world, but I just have no faith in your ability to move the football, matriculate it down the field and into the end zone. Just not going to happen. Because still haven't answered your really tricky question, Manny. Here's the thing: the Giants don't have a lot of draft picks, and so in order for them to move up in the draft, because I don't think the guy that they want is going to be available at 6. I personally think that the first four picks are going to be a quarterback. If somebody doesn't meet Arizona's price of 4, then somebody will certainly meet the Chargers pick at number 5. Chargers asking price of 5. But I think however you put it together, there's going to be 4 quarterbacks taken in the first 4 to 5 picks. There are teams with more assets and certainly much more agita to get up into those picks. I'm looking at the Vikings. I'm looking at the Broncos. I would see those teams giving up whatever that. Can you imagine Sean Payton going into another NFL season with a quarterback that he doesn't like? He's going to be giving away grandchildren to get into the top 3 or top 4. So I just think that for the Giants to move up to a place where they would need to, they're not going to number 2 because I don't think Washington's going to trade with an inter-division rival. Right. Okay, number 1 is done. We already know that's out. So they got to move up to 3 or 4. And I just think that there are other teams better positioned with draft picks and fear that they're going to be like, look, what do you want at 3? Here you go. What do you want at 4? Here you go. What do you want at 5? Here you go. Like, I just think other teams are going to do that. So once you have that context, then the Giants are in a position where, okay, what's the combination of best available and need, right? The perfect pick is the best available player fits your position of need. And that position of need is an important position, right? If it's not quarterback, it's wide receiver. If it's not wide receiver, it's left tackle. If it's not left tackle, it better be defensive end, right? There are certain positions that just make sense for how football is played today. Manny, they're going to pick the best available wide receiver. I think it kind of depends. You alluded to it before. You got Neighbors, you got Odunze, and you got Harrison. Those are everybody's top 3 in some order. I think most of the consensus is Harrison is the best player. In my mind, Harrison isn't quite 230 pounds. I think he's like about 220, but he's 6'3", 6'4", 220, 4.4 speed. Big hands, big reach. I think he's the best wide receiver of the bunch. Once you get past him, to me, it's like 1A, 1B. If you like your wide receivers, like Odunze, take him. He's got the talent, he's got the production. He's got all the tools you would need. And if you prefer Neighbors, yeah. Okay, take Neighbors. I'm not gonna go crazy if both those guys are available at 6, and they kind of pick one over the other. As long as that's where they're at, I think that's fine. The more interesting option is, okay, let's say 4 of the 5 first picks are quarterbacks. That 4th pick, let's assume is Harrison. And then we're left with Neighbors or Odunze. To me, the interesting thing is, what if somebody else goes crazy? Because you never know. Offensive line for them, even though it's a need, they've got a lot of guys that they can sort of make it work. When you look at other needs, they're pretty much set at defensive end. Where they do have struggles, though, it's defensive tackle. They lost Leonard free agency, or Leonard Williams. Yeah. And their other guy who's also, I want to say Dalvin Tomlinson, but that's totally wrong. But at defensive tackle, they lost both starters.
Now, let me ask you this. That means, based on what you're saying, and I agree with a lot of what you're saying.
Of course you do, because it makes sense.
Let me ask you this. So that tells me that you're not sold on J.J. McCarthy, Bo Nix, or Michael Penix.
Okay, so let's talk.
I'm guessing you're not sold with those guys.
So here,
as a second round pick, maybe like a second rounder.
Here's the thing. So, all right, you want to talk quarterbacks, man? We'll talk quarterbacks. Here it comes. So, I think the best prospect in the draft at the quarterback position is Jayden Daniels. I know that Caleb's got good production, so does Jayden Daniels. Caleb makes all the throws, yada yada yada. I would like to have seen him take a USC team with, granted, not a lot of talent. I would like to have seen him elevate that team a little bit more. Right?
Well, he's not gonna have a lot of talent in Chicago either.
He's not, right? And so I look at Caleb Williams, and I think fantastic athlete. Seems like he's got all the tools to be a great passer. Having said that, Jaden Daniels, 6'4", 210 pounds, runs like a gazelle. He's Lamar Jackson. And so all the things that people would say about Lamar, they don't say about Jaden because of Lamar. But the guy can pass. Let me be clear. The guy can pass and he can throw, right? He's got the arm. He can put it downfield. But to be a passer, what do you need? You need three things. Manny, what are the three things you need to be a good passer in the NFL?
Accuracy, and like how we always spoke about, and accuracy.
Thank you very much. And so you look at his numbers, and there's steady improvement. By the time he gets to be this last season, he's a 70% passer. He's got the yards. He can buy time, and he's looking downfield. He's got the size. And he took a good but not great LSU team and propelled them forward. So in my mind, if I want a quarterback, that would be the guy that I'm taking. He's going to be the better prospect.
Hey, I'm going to chime in here real quick, and I'm going to say you left one thing out. And I think that the one thing that you left out, even being a rookie and stepping into those type of shoes, is leadership qualities. I don't know if I've seen that type of leadership, because I get it. You know, there's a certain, you're a young man and you're walking into a locker room of men, but how do you impact that locker room is what really stands out to me. Are you Peyton Manning or are you Ryan Leaf? You know, are you a guy who can galvanize a group of men? And I think that's something that Patrick Mahomes does really well.
Sure.
You know, even from a young
Undisputed,
age.
right?
Correct. He was a guy who guys looked at and they said, not only does this guy have the physical ability to get the ball where it needs to go, he has the IQ to get the ball to where he needs to go, but we trust this guy. When we get into the huddle, we believe in this guy. I think the kid coming out of LSU will probably have a little bit more than that, because I think the expectations are a little bit lesser for him. I think that the lights are going to shine kind of bright on Caleb. Not to mention, we saw what happened between like the first quarterback drafted last year and the second quarterback drafted last year.
Right. There's a precedent now, right?
Yeah. So now at this point, who can lead a group of players? And you don't have to be the best player necessarily or have the best players around you, but how can you get those guys and how can you impact those guys to get them to the next level? And I guess that's to be seen. So you want Daniels. He's probably not going to be there though, unless you guys.
Yeah, no. I here's the thing. If the Giants were to put a package together, in my mind, it would have to be for Daniels. I just don't see how they get there, because Washington is not going to do. Well, first of all, Washington needs a quarterback themselves.
Yeah.
And so the price would be really high to trade with Washington at number 2. And I guess here's the answer to your question, man. It's like, they're fine. Like, if you were picking at 6 or 10 or 15, there's something worth thinking about. But I don't see like day one starters, right? In my mind, if you're picking in the first round, you're picking at least a contributor, but what you really want is a day one starter.
Correct.
And so if you're getting a day one starter at the quarterback position, that's the most important player you can get. So do I trade up for Daniels? Yes. Do I trade up for Caleb? Yes. Once you get past those two, I've seen Drake May play. I watch a lot of ACC. He's good. He gets out of pressure. He reads the pocket. You know, I don't think that he's all that. You know, and then to me, that's the same thing for JJ McCarthy, for Bo Nix. You know, people make this thing about how Bo Nix has all this experience, and he's played like 60 or 70 games in college. Look, Bill Parcells was like, look, I need 20 starts. If I can't figure out a quarterback from their college after 20 starts, like then I don't know what they are, and I'm not going to pick them. So if Bill Parcells needs 20, I don't need 60. Whoever they take, they're picking for 2 to 3 years down the road, right? That's when this team is going to be having a chance. Now, do they still have the GM? Do they still have the head coach in that time? Well, we're all going to find out. Man, you know, give me a Marvin Harrison, give me a Neighbors, give me a Ndunze. Like, give me a guy that commands attention that you haven't had. I mean, for a couple of years of
Odell
Odell.
Beck.
Yeah, Odell for a couple of years before he busted his legs. And then really the last time they had a true number one that spent his prime years with him, I think, is Plaxico. Right?
It'll be
Like,
Plaxico, correct.
You know, and
even that was after the gunshot, if I'm not mistaken. So
well, it was
he was
before,
already kind of
before and after.
okay. Yeah, true. That happened in New York, I think. Yeah.
So they don't have a real big history with true number ones. This is a chance to rectify that, and so I think they got to do it. In my mind, I think Drake May can be a viable NFL starter, right? If Daniel Jones can be considered a viable NFL starter,
I'm not sure who did that. I'm not sure who did that and why they considered Daniel Dimes another quarterback.
You know, but if that guy can be considered an NFL starter, I have no doubt in my mind that Drake May can do it too. So if you're New England and you have the opportunity for that and you think you can coach him up, I mean, I don't know that you pass it up. And look, NFL quarterback is the most important position in team sports.
Yeah, I think that there's always a guy next year, right? There's always a guy next year, and typically you want to draft your wide receiver before you draft your quarterback because the wide receiver also kind of takes a little bit of time to kind of get acclimated with the NFL game and the speed of it. I don't know.
At the top, though. I mean, here's the thing. I think
historically, no wide receivers at the top. I mean, maybe I'll go defensive end. Maybe I'll go. I just want somebody who's going to be able to be out there and impact the game in some way, shape, or form. Not a quarterback who's going to. And you said it. May can run, but I don't want this kid running for his life his entire rookie year either. So I also feel like some of these quarterbacks are going to be available in the second round, even though we talk about them being first round picks and having first round. We see it every year where these guys slip because once you get to the middle of the first round, most of those teams already have a quarterback because they were close to making the playoffs or they made the playoffs. So once you get to like that 12th through 15th, you might be looking at guys just sliding back into the second round where New England can come back and get their quarterback. I don't know.
Look, anything's possible. But I just think the NFL is so pass friendly at this point. I think that pushes quarterbacks into the top of the draft. What's left over are the real prospects. Could somebody fall? Yeah, sure. I mean, Aaron Rodgers fell to 23, but that was 15 years ago.
I think some of these guys have to fall. There's no way that we're talking about 5 guys being drafted in like the top 15.
But here's the thing. But let's play your little game, right? Let's look at the last quarterbacks that people started falling. Pickett at what, 20? And now he's looking for a new job,
I think teams have learned from that because you're reaching. You're reaching at that point. We have to be honest. Pittsburgh reached. If they would have drafted Pickett in the 3rd or 4th round, nobody would have blinked an eyelash. But you went out there and you jumped on a guy who had nothing but question marks around him. So I think you might be proving my point.
No, but here's the thing. It's a double-edged sword, right? Because you took Pickett at 15 when you were Pittsburgh. Well, so here you've got 3 or 4 guys that are in the market for the top of the draft. Let's say 3 of them go. All right. And now you're in that world of Bo Nix and Michael Penix.
No, don't do it.
Right. So here's the thing. Do you reach and you take him at 15? No, you don't. You learn from the Picketts and you wait to the 2nd, 3rd, 4th round. It's a double-edged sword. So it proves your point and mine that, you know what, you don't want to pick a quarterback in the middle of the 1st round. You go high or you don't.
Or you wait. Or you wait.
2nd, 3rd round. Yeah.
Or you go 6th round and draft arguably one of the greatest. I won't go at you with the whole Joe Montana thing. I enjoy watching Cool Joe play. He was amazing. But you you get a 6th round pick, and I think that sometimes these guys later on, again, Russell Wilson was a 3rd round draft pick, 3rd or 4th round, one of the two. Right. But at the end of the day,
Third
I'm
round.
not saying that these guys can't be NFL quarterbacks. What I'm saying is you don't want to blow all of your draft, capital, especially in those earlier rounds, reaching for Russell Wilson in the first round. Like right now, we would all say, oh, if Wilson went in the first round, that would have been a good draft pick. Absolutely. But it would have destroyed the Legion of Boom had they done that. You know what I mean? Like it required Russell Wilson to fall in the draft a little bit to allow those pieces around him to be more of a support system for him, because if not, if everything's falling on his shoulders, forget about it. Seattle's still at the bottom of the NFC West. Manny, I haven't heard from you, bro. What you got? What you got? You got to chime in here somehow.
I agree. I agree with JP.
No, man, it's you have to be very sure who you want to draft, especially as a quarterback. And trading up, man, if you trade up, you better make sure. I'm telling you, man, that guy from San Francisco knows about that. They traded up, they got lucky that they drafted somebody else in Purdy, and the other guy is back up.
Who's that? Our backup in Dallas, Trey Lance.
Mr. Trey Lance. If I'm telling you, if Brock Purdy had not panned out a little bit, I think Kyle will be fired today, because the thing is, you traded up, you gamble, and we saw what happened. I'm telling you, I've been seeing a lot of mock drafts.
Don't reach for quarterbacks. Is my opinion. Don't reach for quarterbacks. You got your stallions. I think you got Caleb, and I think you got Jaden, and you got to leave it there. You got to leave it there. Anybody else, what I mean, you're just reaching. I'm sorry for interrupting you, Manny.
If you not, if I was like, let's say, drafting like in the middle rounds, I would wait for like a JJ McCarthy, maybe like a Bo Nix. But I'm waiting. I'm not gonna attempt to trade up and then mortgage future.
And you're drafting those guys in the middle of the round.
If I need a quarterback, yeah. If I need a quarterback,
hold on. Let me pull up who's drafting in that area. Who needs a quarterback at
Minnesota? Minnesota will be drafting in the middle.
Yeah, I think they've got that fear factor. I think they're gonna. To me, if there's anybody that's trading up, my two picks to trade up are the Vikings and the Broncos.
And I heard today maybe the Raiders. Don't forget about the Raiders. I mean, it's those two teams. It's the Broncos, Minnesota, and the Raiders. They could be trading up on Thursday night. That Thursday night of that week.
Come on, for these guys. Man, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Here's the thing: Raiders isn't a bad one, yeah. But again, I got my choice of those guys. I don't know that there's any package somebody could put together that would deter me for taking a quarterback that automatically, as soon as he steps on the field, puts me in contention for the division. That's tough to give away.
Yeah, and I don't see anybody else. Okay, in all honesty, once you get to a certain level in this draft, Indianapolis is not drafting the quarterback. Maybe New Orleans and the Raiders are drafting the quarterback. That's a possibility. Do you think Denver's drafting a quarterback? Is that a possibility?
Yeah, no. To me, 100%. Sean Payton is drafting a quarterback. I think that they're going to trade up as far as they can go. In my mind, they're one of the teams that would jump ahead of the Giants for sure. I don't know if they've got enough to go up to number 2. I don't know if they got enough to go to number 3, but I think they can get to number 4 with Arizona. I think absolutely they can get to number 5 with the Chargers, right? So both those two teams are set at quarterback. They're fine. Arizona needs a number 1 wideout. The Chargers absolutely they need any wideout, to be honest with you. But
I agree with that. I'm looking at the draft order, and you guys might be right. There might not be too much slipping into the second round with Minnesota, Denver, Las Vegas, and New Orleans all kind of like at that 11 through 14 spot. That's That's a good amount of teams that need a quarterback. But Minnesota does have 2 first-round picks. They've got the 11th and they've got the 23rd. If one of those guys slide back, maybe Minnesota is looking to grab one of them on the back end instead of the front end. Who knows, man? This is crazy. This is a lot of teams that need a quarterback in those in the first 15.
I'll defer to Manny. I mean, I at the end of the day, it's like I think this is the most exciting part of the NFL preseason. You know, free agency is fun, but it in my mind, it's like you got to build a team through the draft. So I'm just excited to see what happens, and we can talk about it once we got names and faces on the teams. That's even more fun.
Sounds good. We'll definitely invite you back for that. Closing argument for you, Manny. Talk to me, yo.
No, JP, I'm really thankful, man, that you came on the show. And yes, we are gonna have you during the year here. A couple of times a month, maybe once a month. We could bring you in, especially when college begins. You know that you are a big ACC guy.
JP, you're welcome back whenever you want, my friend.
Yeah.
You're welcome back.
Thank you very much.
It was a pleasure. It was good talking sports with you.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, guys. I'm happy to join you. Thank you for the invitation. You just let me know. I'll be happy to come back. But just 3 guys chilling, talking sports.
There you go. All right, my friend. Well, you have a great evening, buddy. Take it easy.
All right. Take care, guys. Bye.